Do you learn to drive in a manual car or an automatic car? If you're a learner driver or someone who's looking to learn to drive, you may have asked yourself that question. You might think it's quicker and easier to learn in an automatic car, possibly. You might also be thinking, would I be able to get an automatic car as easily or as cheaply as a manual? And the answer to that is probably not, or not as easily. So there's a number of factors in why people choose to learn to drive in a manual, or they might take the option to go down the automatic route. Now the case for manual really is that there's more availability and more affordable availability in the manual car market, because a new driver more often than not will go for a second-hand car, and the second-hand car market is very, very sparse on automatics. So supply and demand will say that automatics are going to be more expensive. Now, if you look at the manufacturing, more manufacturers are heading more towards automatic. There's fewer manuals being produced, so over time that will turn itself around. But we're in a transition at the minute, and there's also a transition of instructors. Now, I still teach manual, and I will do for at least the next couple of years. I'll probably finish my career as an automatic instructor, and the reason for that is because the new car market is changing. I'll find it more and more difficult to get hold of a manual car. Eventually, the tide will turn, and most new learner drivers will want to learn automatic. Now, there's the reason people learn in an automatic is, well, there's several reasons really. One could be that they've got some kind of disability where they're not able to physically use pedals, change gears, and the other reason, the main reason, is people think, oh, I can't do gears. They've made that decision before they've even attempted to learn to drive, which to me suggests a wider confidence issue. And I'm going to go into that in more depth in a minute or two. But the automatic route can be a good thing for a lot of people. It can be a good thing for people who have neurological conditions such as dyspraxia, for example, where the coordination and movement are affected. It's definitely a good thing. Otherwise, they might not be able to otherwise drive. Same with autism, ADHD. That can cause, both conditions can cause issues which may affect how people learn. Now, as I was saying, there is a difference between automatic and manual, and the pass rates as well, because the pass rate for a manual last year was 50.4%, whereas in automatic it was 43.9%. So that that backs up what I've said about the confidence issue. The automatic test candidate will generally have less confidence, and that is going to be reflected in how they handle a driving test. There's no getting away from that, really. And another issue is a lot of people are under the misconception that learning to drive in an automatic is going to be significantly quicker. Okay, there's no clutch, gears or anything like that to worry about. You've only really got your gas pedal and your brake pedal. But you've still got to learn how to read and perceive the roads. You've still got to learn how to control a car at different speeds and combine all that. And what you're combining is your psychomotor skills and your cognitive skills. And that doesn't come overnight. It comes with practice. And it comes with practice over quite a few lessons, private practice if you can do it. And that is not much different for learning in an automatic. It's the gears are one thing. Learning how to use gears in a manual car, yeah, it may take a little bit longer, but there's not a significant difference. Now the testing automatic cars are getting more and more. I mean, last year it was 25% of all tests were automatic. Now rewind to 10 years ago, it was less than 6%. So there is a shift, and it's happening. And what I've got to do as an instructor is just look at how things are panning out and decide when the time is right for me to change to automatic, because it could come to a point where I wouldn't get the work as a manual instructor. Now, a lot of people have said, and this is backed up, my thoughts on this are backed up by what I've just said, really, is that an automatic instructor may have an easier time teaching. That's not strictly true, because I've spoken to automatic instructors and they've said to me that they generally get people who are less confident, and they do take a lot more teaching, and they can be more difficult to teach. It's not always the gears. A lot of it is confidence. And I think the danger is that as the learner driver market gravitates more towards automatic training, the danger is that people are going to think, oh, I'm only going to need half the lessons. And I will say that is not true. You might not need as many, but I do feel the difficulty for us as instructors is managing the expectations from people learning, and the parents and relatives as well. So there's just a few things to think about.